YouTube. This is Vargas, recording live from the Vargas Vault. After getting something off my chest, I'm back with you for a proper collection pickup video. So this will be Vargas collection pickup video, volume 160. I don't know. I'm up to I can't believe I've done 260 some of these videos, but I have, and that's cool. It's 10 years worth of content in my channel, and I think I've done pretty well. So let's get started before I start talking about random stuff. I haven't been able to buy any video games. Out of all my hobbies, well, Nerf actually, Nerf has gotten the short end of the stick, and after that it's video games. I have added video games, but not as many as I used to. But out of the blue, I was able to find some PSP games, a console that I have very little games for, but the PSP was an interesting console. It was a competition for Nintendo DS, and it looked prettier than the DS, but of course the DS was more innovative. But the PSP, what they were able to achieve with the PSP is cool. I'll make a review of that someday, I hope so. But I was able to get PSP games, and out of all the sports, team sports anyway, I love basketball the most. I love basketball and I love soccer, but especially basketball. So I picked up NBA 2008 for the PSP. I just love the way that basketball translates on video games. Basketball and soccer are my favorite sports, and they translate so well to video games. Just lots of fun to just be able to play basketball digitally, and soccer too, and wrestling. It's the kind of genre that I like. So this was pretty cool. It's a cool game, actually. The graphics are pretty cool. And the other one I picked up is Fight Night Round 3. Boxing. I used to really love boxing, but it's gotten too controversial. There's a lot of boxing matches that end with draws, or the favorite boxer is winning, and then it comes to the decision and they steal the match just so they can do a rematch and charge more money for commercials and stuff like that. So boxing, I've lost faith in the sport, but that doesn't mean I don't like boxing. And for the most part, boxing video games are cool. I mostly play Punch-Out. Punch-Out is my favorite boxing game. But this one was pretty cool. It's more technical. You have to learn like I'm just got finished recording a video. And like I mentioned in that previous video, I haven't gotten that much sleep, and I'm under a lot of stress. So button combinations to actually do the jabs and stuff. It's not as easy to get into as Punch-Out, but it's still pretty cool. I just wish it had more, a lot more boxers. Doesn't have that big of a boxing roster. Picked up some CDs. It's been hit or miss with the CDs. Buying my CDs from Movie Freak Bazaar. He has like a fire sale where on Wednesday he puts out CDs, DVDs, and Blu-rays. Ow. Sorry, hurting. That can't be good. So he puts out CDs, DVDs, and Blu-rays, and he puts them in an online album. And if you're the first one to say mine, you can get it, and then you pay it, and then you pick it up at his store. But recently it's gotten really hard. A lot more people have found out about him, so it gets really hard to get the stuff that I want and that I'm missing. But I got quite a few stuff that I wanted, and this one has always sold, and I was finally able to get a copy. This is the White Stripes Elephant. I like this CD a lot. Seven Nation Army is my favorite one of this. I just really like the style of the White Stripes, and this album is really cool. Also picked up the second, well, this isn't the second album, it's I think the third one, and I picked up the one that came after that, the White Stripes, Get Behind Me, Satan. Also really cool songs. I just not really like the beat that the White Stripes have. But as far as I know, the band split up, so no more White Stripes. I like their music. Then to add to the movie soundtrack collection, I picked up the soundtrack for Judge Dredd. I am the law. The Stallone version. I like the costume design in this, and the first part where he's in costume is pretty cool. But once he takes the helmet off, it becomes a Stallone movie. It doesn't feel like Judge Dredd. If you read the comic books, it doesn't feel like a Judge Dredd comic book adaptation. It becomes a Stallone movie set in a sci-fi setting. So that's the downfall of this movie. I'm a fan because I freaking love Stallone. But the Dredd movie that came out with Carl Urban, way better Judge Dredd adaptation. It's just better. But the soundtrack is pretty cool. It has music from The Cure, it has music from The, it has music from White Zombie, and of course the soundtrack for the movie. So it's a pretty cool CD for a pretty cool movie. Picked up the Smashing Pumpkins Greatest Hits. This is a 2-disc set. It's supposed to be a 2-disc set. Yeah, it is. It just looked weird. But it's a 2-disc set. Has Greatest Hits and Greatest Hits. Really got worried there because it looks like a bootleg. But that's how it's supposed to look. Because in fine print it does say here, Smashing Pumpkins. So it's a legit CD. So yeah, Smashing Pumpkins, really cool when they started out. Really happy about this one. Got Motorhead, the extended ones, the extended versions. I'm sorry, for Motorhead. Lemmy unfortunately passed away, but this is really cool. This is the Encore Collection of extended, and I actually forgot one more. 1 second, guys, because I always think I have everything that I need, and I always end up, and I don't know even where I put it. Well, it's just great. Well, I don't know where it is. I thought I had it here. I'm going to pause. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. I usually keep a very good... everything that I pick up, I put in a little stack. So when I do the pickup videos, I know what I got. But I forgot about this one. But I picked up the soundtrack for Coco. This came out in Mexico first. I don't think I talked about this, actually. I hope I didn't. Well, I really don't remember. If I already talked about this, I'm sorry. But I bought the soundtrack for Coco. No, I talked about the cup. I got the Cinepolis cup. So I don't think I've talked about this. Again, I don't remember. I haven't gotten that much sleep. I apologize. My brain is not here. But I picked up the soundtrack for Coco. Pixar's newest animated film. Beautiful movie. Visually amazing. And the story is really cool. I know in America it won't come out until Thanksgiving. But we got it here first in Mexico. And right now it's like the biggest box office animated movie that's been released in Mexico, and they really gave respect. I feel they gave respect to our culture, based on the Day of the Dead celebration, and I love the story. I love the setting. It's about our heritage, our celebrations of family, and the Day of the Dead, and it's very unique. There's a lot of things that I like about the American culture, but our Mexican culture is really, really cool. I know we get a lot of slack because of some bad apples that run our government, and some people but that's the way it is everywhere in the world. There's some bad apples everywhere, but our culture is very colorful. The Mexican culture is very colorful. You can see that in our celebrations. You can see that in our wrestling with our multicolored luchadors. So I hope this movie gives people a better look at our very colorful and very awesome Mexican culture. So when you see Coco, I hope it's a good movie, regardless that I'm a little biased because I'm Mexican and it's based off Mexico traditions. But I hope you like it. I really do recommend you watch Coco. It's a very, very touching movie, and Pixar has gotten really good at pulling at the heartstrings, and that one got me right here. Got me right here. Also from Movie Freak Bazaar, I picked up the soundtrack for Star Wars Return of the Jedi. I've mentioned this before. Return of the Jedi is my second favorite movie of all time, and this one has a nice 3D look that the camera won't pick up because of the glare, but it has a really cool 3D cover. Now, the only problem with this is that I bought it from Movie Freak Bazaar, and I saw here that it was 2 discs, here and here. So I was like, yes, 2 discs, all right. And I open it, yes, there's this one. And I open it here, and oh crap, where's disc 2? It doesn't have disc 2. So I sent a message to Movie Freak. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even know it had 2 discs. So that's how I got it. I'm like, oh, okay, don't worry about it. He offered to replace it, but honestly, I wasn't going to replace it because it's Return of the Jedi. I just, of course, if I see somewhere down the line a copy with 2 discs, I will have to double dip. Because Return of the Jedi is my favorite of the Star Wars movies. For nostalgic reasons. This is the one that I saw in the theater when it was in theaters, the original run. So Return of the Jedi is what, it's what forged my love for going to the movie theaters. And my second favorite movie of all time, so added that. And to add to the Taylor Swift collection, I picked up the Taylor Swift album that has our favorite songs. I'm going to say ours because my daughter, we were watching Sing and they played Shake It Off. And then I put the Taylor Swift Shake It Off, and she got up and she started jiving and dancing, and I'm like, oh, I'm so happy. My little daughter just likes to dance. And so I picked this up for her. I'll burn it in on my iPhone, so whenever she wants to dance, I can play it for her. Taylor Swift is very interesting. She started off in country, and I'm not a big country fan, but she got into pop, and she's gotten really good. I really like her music videos. Her music videos are really very visually cool, and she's not ugly. She's very pretty to look at. And even though she has, all this drama in her personal life, but as an artist, I think she's pretty cool. I like her music, so added that. Okay, that's it for the CDs, I think. I don't think I'm missing anything else. Well, the only other one I got is the wrestling CD, but I talked about that in the wrestling pickup video, so yeah. Okay, movies. Let's talk movies. They're actually out of order. Why are they out of order? I hate it when that happens. Okay, so I double dipped and I bought Predator again. I already have Predator, but unfortunately, and this is something that has bugged me about my collection recently. Way back when I started collecting DVDs, you used to have full screen and widescreen. If you put a widescreen DVD on one of the old tube TVs, you would get these black bars, and that didn't bug me, but it kind of felt weird. So some of the DVDs that I own, I bought full screen, but what that would do is that would cut the image, and you would get a message saying that this version has been cut to fit your TV screen, because the tube TVs were like big, but you would get the black bars on top. So by buying the full screen, it would fit your screen without the black bars, but you would sacrifice things that would happen, like the image would be like this, but to fit the screen would be like this, so you would miss things. So back in the day, I had a tube TV, so no problem. Until I realized the difference. I bought a movie that had the full screen and the widescreen, and that's when I realized that, holy crap, the full screen cuts images, and you can't see what's happening on the other part. So I made a big mistake. I started collecting full screens, and those kind of suck now that I have a big screen. Because these things, if you put a full screen, you get a full black bar instead of just the 2 lines on top. So that was kind of sucky. And also that version of Predator, it had some water damage on the cardboard thing, so it looked weird. So Movie Freak Bazaar had Predator widescreen, so I double dipped because that's how I am. Picked up Cantinflas. This is a biopic of a very, very famous Mexican comedian, Cantinflas. It showcases his start doing carpa shows. Carpa shows way back in the day in Mexico were like circus tents, and people would get shows, comedic shows. That's how he started, and he got famous, started doing movies. And his big break is when he did Around the World in 80 Days, which I wish I could find, but I can't. But I really like this movie. The guy is a Spanish actor. He's not a Mexican actor, so there was a lot of controversy on why a Spanish actor got the role, but he did really well. I really, really respect the way he got into Cantinflas, and just really looks like him. So I like this movie a lot. I hope one day they do a Santo one, but the El Hijo del Santo, who owns the rights to the Santo name, is kind of iffy regarding the property of his dad. So yeah. What the heck did I do here? I made a whole mess of stuff. Well, I messed up the order, but picked up Mindhunters. This is like CSI mixed with Jigsaw. It's about these investigative scientist people, like CSI or Criminal Minds. They're like profilers, and they study crime scenes. But then one of them is evil, and he starts picking them off. So they're like, holy shit! One of us that knows all our methods is killing us off. What do we do? So I thought it was a pretty cool movie. Not the best movie, but it was very entertaining. Then picked up The Prophecy 3 with Christopher Walken. I actually need The Prophecy 2. I have one. I don't have two, but I have 3. So yeah, this is Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken. That's enough said. Picked up Dark Skies, and Macabro's really going to be mad at me because I got a lot of horror, and I'm talking about it, and that's usually his thing. He's already mad with me about the Halloween thing, so oops, sorry. This is Dark Skies from the people that made, from the producers, not the directors, but it's the producer of Paranormal Activity and Insidious. And that, as a tip, that means nothing. The producer is just the guy that puts up part of the budget. He doesn't have any creative input in this. It's just the guy that put up the money for Paranormal Activity and Insidious. So yeah, it means nothing. But this is about aliens. It's about aliens and how they're following this kid and abducting him and stuff like that. If you want to see a good alien movie, and again, that really is up to Macabro, but watch Fire in the Sky. Fire in the Sky, in my opinion, is a way more effective alien abduction movie. Picked up The Crazies, not the original George Romero one, but the remake. Didn't think it was that bad. Don't like remakes. Macabro's the same way, he doesn't like remakes. But this wasn't that bad. It wasn't. I like the original one, and that one wasn't. It wasn't bad. For my Nicolas Cage collection, I picked up Garden Tess, where he plays a secret agent protecting. I think it was a former first lady. It's a comedy with Nicolas Cage, but I have a very, very big Nicolas Cage collection. So any Nicolas Cage movie I can add, I do. Still missing Leaving Las Vegas. Picked up Never Say Never Again, one of the last James Bond movies that I'm missing. Unfortunately, it has a little bit of water damage and sun damage here, but this is the last Sean Connery movie doing James Bond, and I needed it, and I have it, so it's cool. Now I'm just missing The Living Daylights with my least favorite James Bond, Timothy Dalton, and Spectre, the newest one with Daniel Craig that released like last year. Those two movies, and I'll have every single James Bond movie that there is. Also picked up this one, which is it's not the first time I have it. I have Bender's Big Score, so I already have something like that. But this is Futurama movie, the Beast with a Billion Backs. I am going to have to switch this into a more stable thing. When Futurama got canceled, the fans, pushed for this thing to come back, and it came back as these little movies. There's this one, there's Bender's Big Score, and there's one where they play like a fantasy RPG kind of thing. Oh, that's pretty cool. Picked up Narnia, Prince Caspian, the second Narnia movie with a very happy, shiny slipcase. Always a fan of that. So yeah, the Narnia thing, the first one was pretty cool, but unfortunately it did feel like they were ripping off, even though it came out at the same time, the Chronicles of Narnia, and its contemporary, the Lord of the Rings, the books came out around the same time. The movies, Lord of the Rings came out first, and after the success of Lord of the Rings, then they started pumping out Narnia. And it's a good universe, but it does feel like they were ripping off Lord of the Rings. But they only made 3. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and the Dawn Treader thing. So they only made 3 out of the 6 that they should have done. But yeah, double dipped again. Already have The Departed, but this is the 2-disc edition. And I always do that. Whenever I come across a movie, I buy it. But if I know there's a 2-disc collector's edition, I pick up the 2-disc collector's edition because it has special features. And I am a huge fan of special features. I will always pick up the special features because I like hearing the documentary and learning everything that goes behind making a movie. This one I thought was a bootleg. I genuinely thought was a bootleg. But I look at the disc. The disc is legit. And I mean legit because a bootleg is usually like purple. And this is a DVD. And in the inside of the circle here, and I mentioned this in a Facebook group, an original DVD will have printed in this part here the name of the movie. And it says here, Godzilla and Megalon. So it's an actual real, it's not a bootleg, it's an actual real DVD. But just the cover looks very generic. And I posted this on a Facebook group, and they told me that this Godzilla versus Megalon used to be, studios thought it was public domain, but it's not. Any Godzilla movie is owned by Toho. So Toho released a cease and desist. And they recalled a bunch of those Godzilla vs. Megalon. Because there's a bunch of copies on VHS, different copies of Godzilla vs. Megalon, released by different companies, not Toho. This is released by Ace Video. So there's a number of VHSs with different copies and DVDs, and I think a Blu-ray. But this is really cool. This is a really cool Godzilla movie. All Godzilla movies are cool, but this one is kind of like a tag team match between with Godzilla and Jet Jaguar against Megalon and Praying Mantis kind of thing. And Jet Jaguar and Godzilla do tag team moves, so I thought that was pretty cool. I love this one. And the last one I picked up for this video is Glee, the 3rd season. I don't judge me. I like musicals. I like singing. And this one, especially her character went through a lot. She was a villain, then she got pregnant, and she was a tweener where she was good and evil. Then she, was in a car accident. So her character had the most growth, and also very pretty on the eyes. So I watched it for her. But the other cast of characters were really cool, and it was about this group of misfits that were picked on, were bullied. So I guess I identified with that, and they came together, and they overcame. Finally, in this season, they overcame and they won the national championship for choir singing. So that's when I stopped actually watching the series. Once they actually made their goal, some of the cast left, and they were replaced by other members. but it didn't feel the same. It lost something when they finally, won the big one. So this is the only season I would pick up because this is the last season where it was good, in my opinion. So yeah, that was the pickup video. Finally, after talking about other stuff and the update, I always try to recommend the standout things of the collection. So I am going to go with, of course, Godzilla. Can't go wrong with Godzilla. Love Godzilla. Grew up watching this version of Godzilla, where he was a good guy fighting other kaijus, and sometimes he would tag team, and sometimes he would be alone. And then, of course, he came back as a force of nature and just destroyed everything like he originally did. But I have a fond heart for this one, this version of Godzilla with the falling apart costume and him fighting different monsters. Even though I mentioned this in Facebook, Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster is one of the more trippiest movies. There's a lot of like woo stuff happening, like Willy Wonka going through that tunnel, like whoa, what's going on? And so that one was weird, but I actually need that one, Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. But yeah, my recommendation: Godzilla vs. Megalon, some kaiju tag team action. So recommend that one if you can find it, which you should. It's like I said, there's a lot of copies out there that people thought it was public domain, so they start releasing a number of them. So you could probably come across that one a little easier. So yeah, that's the pickup video. I don't want to ramble too much. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for supporting my channel. And until I see you all again, this was Vargas from the Vargas Vault. Thanking you all and signing out.